Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Breakroom Banter, a hairstylist adjacent podcast where each week two friends who happen to be hairstylists break down our week in the break room. I'm your host, Hunter Walden, joined by my lovely co-hosts,
Anna Schrader, and today we are going to be talking about goals. More specifically, Hunter's goals and how he set them.
Perfect. So we like to start every week here with our rose and our thorn. Anna likes to call it our little bouquet. So Anna, what was your rose and thorn this week?
My rose, I did some online shopping because, I live in the boondocks. And so I made a nice little H&M order. And I was really inspired to get really fun, fashionable clothes.
Right.
And I ended up just getting comfy clothes. I bought two sweatsuits, an oversized graphic tee, and sweat shorts. And I am not mad about it. But it is funny because I looked at this order. I'm like, yeah, none of this is work appropriate, but it definitely is comfy appropriate. And
comfy.
All day today, yes, comfy. All day today, I have been comfy level 10 in my it's like a dusty blue sweatsuit. I love it. And
is that the one that you're wearing right now?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was like a taupe color.
No, it's that.
I see now that it's more of a dusty blue. Yeah.
It matches my phone almost exactly. So that's fun. And let's see, my thorn. Well, today I spent all day filing taxes. And then I finally was like, I can't sit here anymore. I need to be productive. And then I cleaned my refrigerator. So
no. Did you take out the shelves and scrub them? And
no, I didn't get that deep.
We were looking for mid-level productivity today.
Yeah, I just needed to make room for the new food that's hopefully going to be in this week. But
nice.
Yeah, no, I am really bad. I keep food too long. I hate throwing food away. So
and then you keep it till it's too long.
Yeah, I let it sit, so it's literally growing mold, and then I don't feel guilty. So I know it's really gross.
And then
really
I feel
bad,
and then I just don't want to scrape the food out of the Tupperware, so I end up throwing the Tupperware away.
Right. Oh, I will usually scrape it out, but I'll do it on garbage day, so then I can just take it right out.
Right.
But Hunter, tell me about what your bouquet is, what your week looked like.
Oh, my rose. So I went on 2 road trips 2 weeks in a row. Bradley and I went down to a place in Alabama called the Unclaimed Baggage Store today.
You have to tell everyone about this because I had no idea. And now it's going to happen. When I come to visit you, that's going to be on my to-do list.
Absolutely. We'll make a day out of it. So there's this place in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, and it's literally just called Unclaimed Baggage. And from what I understand, all of the baggage that gets unclaimed for a certain amount of time goes to this place, and then they sell it. And there's everything from high-end luxury items all the way down to just basic teas, vintage stuff, musical instruments, computers, literally anything you can think of is in this store. And
how mad would you be if you lost your luggage and you went shopping there and they were selling your items?
I've seen YouTube videos where people say that they're like, I buy my lost luggage back from this store, and it's but I lucked out. I got a lot of cool stuff, and that was really fun. And my thorn is that I was incredibly wrong last week about my redhead fact, my redhead fun fact. I looked it up, and however, I was wrong. However, I'll start with this here. this is a true fact about redheads. And I have a couple here, so I figured Anna and I would just take turns kind of reading these fun facts off to you that are true. And hopefully that makes up for my very embarrassingly incorrect quote from last week. So the one that I want to read first is, during the 16th and 17th centuries in Europe, redheads were often accused of witchcraft and executed. And that was the fact that I ever so wrongly tried to quote last week.
That's okay. That's used. I feel like I heard that too, but you never know. Myths. But I mean, kind of true.
Yeah. Do you want to read a fun fact? Pick a fun fact to read about redheads, Anna?
Okay. And some of these, like, I've heard, but they don't, in my experience, they're not true. Like this one. Redheads have less hair with only 90,000 strands compared to an average of 110,000 for blondes and 140,000 for brunettes. However, each strand of red hair is thicker than those of other colors. I get the density part, like thicker strands of hair, but I actually have a couple red-haired clients who their hair
so
is like
much hair.
Yeah, it's like ungodly thick, like just so thick.
Mm-hmm. Here was one that I thought was really cool. Redheads on average need 20% more anesthetic when they go into the hospital for surgery.
That is so interesting, and I have heard that from anesthesiologists or nurse anesthetists. Wow, nurse anesthetists. Can't say that word. You know what I mean?
And an anesthetist.
Yeah, it's like a thing that they know too, but it is weird and creepy and scary if you're going to surgery as a redhead. So if you're a redhead and you're hearing this for the first time, maybe just put that in the back pocket and maybe carry around a note that says, give me more. Give me more if I'm ever in surgery. There's also one more that I wanted to share because I thought this one was super interesting.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That redheads naturally produce their own vitamin D.
Yeah, so I read with that one, that means that they have like higher immunities.
Mm-hmm.
And their bones are stronger.
Yes. Vitamin D deficiencies are super, super common where I live because we don't have sun. And the main source of getting vitamin D is by absorbing sun on your skin, open skin in the sun. So in the winter, we have there are many days where we'll go to work and it's dark and come back and it's dark. And
right.
And then if you are in the sun, you're bundled. So there's no sun exposure. So we all are vitamin D deficient. So it's like a normal thing in the winter to take a supplement for that. Uh-huh. And I'm sure you've heard of people in Alaska sitting under happy lights.
Yeah, I have a sat lamp.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing. But that's super cool that redheads produce their own vitamin D. And that all around makes them vitamin D, if you're deficient, can lead to depression. Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense too, because every redhead that I know is super bubbly, and I know I'm stereotyping and I feel like people do this to redheads all the time, but I'm a blonde, so but yeah, anyways, redheads are super nice and friendly and bubbly, so that it could have something to do with their vitamin D. Yeah.
It could. So it actually could. Yeah. Oh, here's one more. Just one more. I think this actually, if I read this, it means that we read all of the fun facts. But redheads don't go gray. They keep their pigment longer before eventually just fading to white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so interesting.
And the more I think about it, the more I think it reigns true, through experience too.
Mm-hmm. And also, I would say natural blondes, like really, really blonde. Like not a level 6 blonde, but like a 7, 8, 9, 10 blonde.
Yeah, they'll just fade kind of to white.
Mm-hmm. But also redheads their hair has an extra like melanin. So there's different types of melanin in the hair. Pheomelanin, yeah. What is it? Eomelanin, pheomelanin, and what's the other one?
I think it's just the two, eumelanin and pheomelanin.
Well, I thought that redheads had 3.
Whatever. I don't know. They have a mutated M1CR gene.
Oh.
And that is
you really did do your research.
I did. I was so embarrassed for giving you guys incorrect facts that I was like, I need to do all the research to make sure that I like apprehend myself. That's not the correct word.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh. That is such a okay, just going back to Enneagram, that's so you. So 5, such a 5-ish thing to do. But I appreciate that. But with that extra melanin, it makes it harder to lift their hair and sometimes get like that cooler blonde, which makes sense because it's red, which is harder to get cool tones. But yeah.
Well, it said there was another fact on this website that it says that reds are really hard to lift so then you have to lift over and over and over again, causing damage. And I find that to be true too. Every time you highlight a redhead, I find that a raw lift on a redhead is some of the most beautiful golden tones that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But those golden tones stay in the hair forever. Getting those golden tones to lighten out of the hair is extremely difficult.
It is, yeah. And it's hard because also, like...
So if you're a redhead, just stay golden.
Just embrace your golden tones. But with that being said, like, how beautiful is it to see cool tones? Like, redheads, their complexion naturally is, like, cooler tones. And they have, like, very light features. It is so striking when you can get a natural redhead to be a cool blonde.
It's beautiful.
It's great. Yeah, it looks great. But also the gold. Stick with the gold. Your hair will
stay gold, honey boy. Stay gold.
Okay, so you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about goals. Goals are like roadmaps, so you know where you're headed. It keeps you on track. And a lot of times in life, before you start a new adventure or a new phase in life, it's a good time to sit back, reflect, and reassess, look at your goals, and see, how am I doing? Have I met these goals? How can I do better? And set goals for the future. And it's really popular to have 5-year goals, and then also popular to have daily and weekly goals. And many people are either super motivated by those goals or they just don't think about them. But if you are someone who's super motivated by them, which Hunter is, so he's going to be doing a lot of the talking today, and I'm going to be asking him more questions. But even if you're not someone who's motivated, I would say those long-term goals are very important. And even just writing them down and keeping them somewhere is super impactful. I found goals that were like in my old cosmetology notebooks, and it was really encouraging and cool to reread some of those goals. And
I wish I had, because I remember doing that in cosmetology school, writing down goals for your career. I wonder what I wrote down. Oh my gosh.
You'll have to do some digging.
I know, but I don't have it. I'm not a hoarder. I'm a thrower awayer. Once I don't need it anymore, I throw it away.
Oh, that's too bad.
That is too bad.
This would be really fun to look at. Yeah. But I'm personally in a stage where I am reflecting. I'm in that season of sitting back, reflecting, looking towards the future. And I am currently looking to write goals weekly and and also reassess my 5-year goals. So I'm excited to talk to you, the king of goals and the master of staying on topic. So why don't we start with just some of the monthly goals that you have for yourself?
Like a roadmap, they guide you to your destination. So instead of thinking, if the word goal scares you, think of it more as your destination, right? There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're moving with this. My words are getting together. So some of the goals that I set in the salon, and the first goal that I set for myself at the beginning of the year is a yearly goal. Okay. So I like to have a yearly service goal and a yearly retail goal.
Okay.
And so my current goal in the salon for the year is $150,000 in services. So how I break that down is just into monthly, weekly, and daily goals. So if I want to bring in $150,000 a year, my monthly service goal is going to be $12,500 in services per month. And then my microphone just fell.
Oh,
are we back? And then now that I have my $12,500 monthly service goal, I know that I need to weekly make $3,000 in services, and that is around $730 a day in services.
Okay, that keep in mind that number is going to look different depending on where you live, because I look at that number and I was like, woo.
Right.
Because I live in a very rural area where that would be very hard. I'm not saying maybe in the future, but
right.
You have to look at where you are at and set realistic goals from where you are. And that's key, is realistic goals, because you want to make sure your short-term goals are things that you can actually achieve.
Ones. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is just based on growth from last year. So my goal is to grow my business 25% from what I did last year. So I took my goals from last year and increased them by 25%, and that gave me my this year's goals.
That's a great goal, and do you feel like that's achievable? How have you been doing?
Absolutely, I think it's achievable. February has been pretty slow, but then normally March, April, May picks up and kind of makes up for February. So I'm on track. We, everything that's going on in the world has been canceling weeks.
Right? Yeah. I am finding a lot of cancellations, and people are still getting sick
left and right. To stay on track, we have monthly meetings at the salon with the owner of the salon, both of the owners, and we go over our numbers and our goals. So our goals are not only written down for us, they're written down with our boss, and our boss helps hold us accountable for those goals. And one thing that she does is prints off a monthly projection, a monthly forecast, and that shows at the beginning of the month how booked you are through the month by the day, and it has your service totals that you have booked on there starting at the beginning of the month. So say February 1st, I was forecasted to do $700. And on February 1st, I did $650 or something like that. So that's a good way to stay on track for me. I write down every day what my totals were, retail and my service.
Okay. Yeah. And that's like very, very nice that your owner does that, and your boss knows how to motivate you guys in that way.
Absolutely. And I think too, our industry, I feel, gets dumbed down a lot. And I think it's important, even if you don't have a boss that is motivating you to set these goals for yourself, use these goals that we're talking about right now. Monthly service goals, monthly retail goals, weekly retail goals, weekly or monthly retail goals. My monthly retail goal is $3,200, which is an additional, that's for me, that's an additional check. But so the way that I set my retail goal is honestly by what I wanted to buy.
Oh.
So I told you I'm super bougie.
Bougie on a budget.
So I know in order to make a certain percentage of retail commission, I have to sell a certain amount of commission. And I've figured up a monthly shopping budget, and that is my retail budget.
That is so fabulous. So you are taking what other people are buying for themselves and turning it into buying for
stuff
yourself.
That I buy for me.
Oh my gosh. Hunter, I love that. I'm going to steal that. And I'm also getting some good, I'm getting motivated here because we do have our monthly meeting coming up, and I am technically the manager of our little salon. There's only 4 of us. But I do feel like sometimes I'm definitely dropping the ball with setting goals and helping people set goals. So it's a good reality check for me because I get so wrapped up with just doing hair and keeping my focus on my clients that no, you need to step back and reassess your goals. Otherwise it is just the day to day, and then all of a sudden it becomes the week to week, and then the month to month, and before you know it, it's like, what are you going towards? You need to keep your goals in mind. So this is a great episode because I'm feeling motivated.
Awesome. But I have 3 main things that I like to focus on when I'm setting my goals. And that's my pre-booking, my retail, and my services. Those are the 3 things that I like to focus on when I'm making my goals. Because pre-booking is how we get job security, right? So I want to look at my book 4 months from now and know that I'm going to be able to pay all my bills and be just fine. And the way that you do that is pre-booking. I've worked in a lot of places where they're super hyper focused on client count or guest count. You want to have so many people in the salon at the same time, but I like to just focus on those 3 so that I can give the guests that do come and sit in my chair the best experience. And if I elevate their experience, I elevate their ticket, and that elevates my paycheck. So focusing on those 3 things versus how many clients are sitting in your chair will help give you better customer service, which helps everything.
Yeah, definitely. And pre-booking is definitely something you can do. So a lot of times my clients, I'm pretty busy in the salon, and we are hiring someone. We actually hired her, and she's taking her boards this upcoming weekend, and I cannot wait for her.
Oh, that's exciting.
To get her license and start doing hair. She's going to be amazing. So once Hannah starts doing hair, I will probably pass some of those clients that I have over to her, because right now I'm booking 3 or 4 appointments out.
Yes, and that's what I like to do.
Do you like to do that? Because
Oh, honey, if they will book from January to January, I will take it. I love that. I would rather someone book their appointments for the entire year and me schedule my vacations and my time off around that than anything, honestly. I love a bitch that pre-books. I love it. Because
I do too, to an extent, but if it's past 4 months, and I get stressed out because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. And that comes back to exactly what we're talking about, is that I need to set goals so I will know exactly what I'm doing in 5 to 6 months. And I think that's why I'm feeling anxious about people wanting to book like 4 or more months out, because I really want to be more focused on, because I don't know.
On the present, yeah.
Yes, I'm very focused on the present, but I do feel like I need to be more focused on the future. And yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite quotes is, sacrifice for what you want before what you want becomes the sacrifice. And I feel like that kind of broke down exactly what you just said, how living in the present can sometimes slow down the future. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We just had a little bit of a deep moment there.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. I like that. I'm gonna dwell on that. And this would have been the weekend where I would have done some deep soul searching in goal setting, but instead I was doing things like cleaning my fridge and doing taxes, and I went snowboarding and skiing. But I think I need to just go meditate and reassess my goals. So can you re-say that quote?
Yeah. Sacrifice for what you want before what you want becomes the sacrifice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hunter. This is great.
It is.
So, do you at the end of your day look at the next day and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to, my person's ticket, and I'm going to hopefully wax their eyebrows and add another $15.
Absolutely. Yes, that is exactly what I do. So what I like to do, and that's what helps, that's why these monthly projection forecasts help me so much. Like I said, I have my goals set up monthly, weekly, and daily, right? So if I look at my monthly projection and I see that on a Wednesday, which is the first day of the week that I work, I have 2 open spots, and my projection for the day is only $500. So what I will do is I will go to Friday or Saturday, the days that are easier to fill up, and I will see if I have a guest on one of those days that I can have move to an earlier appointment. And then if they move, I have a better chance of filling the opening that I have on a Friday and a Saturday than I do on a Wednesday. So I will do that at the beginning of the week. And then every morning is when I do my daily assessment of what I have. So in the morning, I'll look at my tickets, look at my total, my projected total, and see where I have room to add on services like eyebrow waxes, deep conditioners. And if you're not busy in the salon, and this is something that I started doing when I very first started doing hair, and then whenever I moved back to Tennessee, I started doing this again, is whenever I'm offering a deep conditioner or even a glaze, offer them a hand massage to elevate that experience just a little bit more. Because
I used to do that as a new stylist too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I want to bring back the hand massage or like the neck massage while their hair is processing.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing just to elevate that service so that
I think
customer service goes a long way.
It does. And sometimes you don't have to charge for those things either. You know, it could be a complimentary.
Exactly.
And that's what I remember once though, I did ask if someone wanted a hand massage while her hair was processing, and she turned me down, and did a number on my confidence.
Did it? Oh, some people just don't like to be touched like that.
No, I'm joking about my confidence, but I think it did affect me asking if people wanted hand massages. And you're
'Cause
absolutely
it's
right.
a rejection thing. It's like,
Mhm. It's like,
ooh, that didn't feel good.
Is it me? Is it something I said?
Is it me? Am I the drama?
Am I the problem?
I'm actually, believe it or not, fun fact about me, I am that type of person.
You
I
don't
would
like
turn
to
it
be
down.
touched?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I got my nails done and they asked me if I wanted to like get a manicure and all of that. And I said I would love a manicure, but I don't want you to like massage me.
Oh.
Like, you can put lotion on my hands, but like, don't linger. Don't massage.
Do you
Don't
like
linger
to
there.
give massages?
That it doesn't bother me a bit.
To give massages?
Yeah.
You just don't like to get them.
Right. I don't like to be touched. Another goal that I set for myself, though, getting back on track, because we are kind of airbrained today. This is going to be a fun episode to edit. But another goal that I like to set for myself is a social media posting goal.
Oh, please go
And,
on. And
you know,
I'm
I
not just
don't.
like,
I'm preaching to the choir, pot calling the kettle black, but I do have the goal set, and my goals are 3 to 5 stories per day and 3 to 4 posts per week.
nice.
So at least
I was
at
like,
least a picture of every day that I work.
yes,
the
and
goal.
that is amazing. And like, I take pictures all the time. I have so many pictures on my phone. I just never post. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like,
see, and I'm the opposite. I will, if I have it, I'll post it. But if I just don't take pictures a lot, and I don't know why.
I have so many pictures on my phone that are just waiting, and I have a lot of drafts that are waiting, but I don't like captioning. Like, I do not
You don't
like
have to put
captioning.
a caption. Who says you have to put a caption? Why don't you just like if you don't feel like writing a caption, just be like,
No
I
cap.
don't feel like writing a caption. No cap. That's what the kids say. No cap.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
That's great. And I think that's something that I should do too, because it is like, but here's another thing is if your social media is not tied up with your goal, then don't do it, because then it's interfering. You know what I mean? If your
Yes.
social media account is, because it really, I feel like there's such pressure on us as hairstylists
to be influencers.
yeah. And it's like, why? I mean, maybe it's like that in every single career, and I just don't know because this is the one I'm in. But I feel like there's that
That is
pressure
true.
for us. And it's just like, if it's not going to benefit your goal, your 5-year or 10-year goal, then do it for fun, like when you like it. And maybe that's why I haven't been posting either, because I don't have my goals solidified. I mean, I do have like long-term goals, but like I need to break them down. Like it is, I just keep on going back to it. I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm sounding redundant, but like,
Well, I think
think
it's
it would really
important to mention, though, that you don't have goals right now because you just achieved your long-term goals.
yeah, I
I don't feel like
those
you've
5
mentioned
year.
that yet.
I mean, I did a little bit.
Yeah, so I think that is super important to mention, that you're not just without a goal, without a direction.
Oh
You just-
man, sometimes
You literally just achieved them all, and now you have to grow, so you're having growing pains, and
it's true.
that's just
It's
part
true.
of it. That's just part of it.
I always say, because this is like a feeling that I feel sometimes. It's a common feeling. I tell my family and my close friends, and I'm like, today I just feel like a piece of plankton in the ocean, and I just feel like it's kind of a season where I'm just getting like, I'm floating along where the waves send me, which there's a certain beauty to that. Just like
Free spirit.
chill, free spirit, go with the flow. But my desire is to be like a freaking whale that just makes my own waves and like pushes through. So I need to work my way up to being a whale. And maybe next step is like the jellyfish that like kind of pushes.
You can push the water back, give it a little bit of pushback.
Yeah. So I don't want to stay a plankton. But so if you're listening, rate yourself on ocean animals. Are you plankton? Where on the scale of plankton to whale do you live?
I'm a shrimp.
A shrimp? Fast. Very fast. No, Hunter, definitely like hearing you talk about your goals, you sound more of like, I don't want to say shark because that makes you sound aggressive.
I would say that I'm
a killer
pretty
whale.
aggressive.
Or a dolphin. Yeah, killer whale. Let's say a killer whale because they're very aggressive, but no, actually.
But also they're kind of cute, and I'm kind of cute.
I'm gonna say that you're a dolphin because you're not actually harmful. Whereas I think killer whales can like kill.
Talk
other
a real
animals.
big game.
Dolphin. You're a dolphin.
Yeah, dolphins talk real big games.
Okay, so while we were talking about hugs, I did research. Everyone needs to know, this is for you, Hunter. How many hugs do we need? A family therapist says we need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance, and we need 12 hugs a day for growth. So take it or leave it, but you better at least be getting 4 hugs a day.
That is very interesting.
I didn't get any hugs today, except for my cat.
That counts. That counts.
He sat on my lap all day while I was doing taxes, so maybe that super counts.
Yeah, you had at least the equivalent of 15 hugs.
Thriving over here, thriving.
I did read something somewhere about hugs that says, I think it's like a scientific fact that if you're gonna hug, you should hug for at least 15 seconds because it takes that long for your serotonin to, I don't know if it takes that long for your serotonin to realize that you're hugging or if dopamine is what's created by a hug. But some chemical in your brain, it takes 15 seconds.
Huh. Oh my gosh, and I realized I feel so bad. I just lied. I got 1 hug. I had a friend come over and I got a hug. So yeah, I got 1 hug.
You just
doing more
discounted
than
that friend.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
If they're listening.
But it wasn't 15 seconds. It was not 15 seconds, so maybe it didn't count.
Does it even count?
No.
Maybe it was like a half a hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely half hug.
So,
okay,
Anna, do you have a hair quiz question for me? You do?
I most definitely do.
I was honestly expecting to throw you off your game there and to buy myself some time.
No. All right. So, true or false? Stress causes gray hair.
I'm going to say false.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah. I don't know where my false came from, but please tell me.
Let me read you. So the color of hair is determined by a pigment known as melanin. We already talked about that. Hair turns gray once the melanin has already completely depleted. However, this is kind of a sort of. While being under stress can't turn your hair gray, stress can cause your hair to shed at about 3 times faster than normal. Holler if you've ever experienced that.
Whoop, whoop.
Mm-hmm. Once a hair follicle produces hair, the hair is set. If a single strand of hair starts out brown or red or black or blonde, it is never going to turn gray. Your hair follicle produces less color as they age, so when hair goes through its natural cycle of dying and being regenerated, it's more likely to grow in as gray beginning after the age of 35.
Interesting. I started going gray when I was 17.
I know, and I've seen clients who I haven't. Thankfully, knock on wood. I have not gone gray, but although it's not bad, like why do we is it something we all fear? But what I was gonna say is that I have literally been doing kids' hair, like children, like 7 to 12, And I found gray hairs.
Well, have you seen the birthmark that is just a patch of white hair?
Yes. In the front? Are you talking about the piece in the front?
Well, sometimes it's in the front, sometimes it's in the back. It's different places for different people. But I had a friend in high school specifically who he had a patch on like the side of his head that was just white hair.
And those are really hard pieces of hair to color too, by the way. It won't color. I have an interesting fact for next week that I'm going to share about that like striking white piece in the front of the hair. So just stay tuned. I have to make sure that I get it all correct. But
yes.
Anyways, good job. It is a myth, but yes, if you shed a lot of your hair, because you're stressed, your hair can grow back gray, but that's just the natural cycle. So
that is very interesting.
Don't get stressed. That's the moral of the story.
Less
set your goals and
stressy.
don't get stressed, and get hugs.
At least 4 a day.
Get hugged, set your goals, and eliminate stress.
And if you're a redhead, you have a lot of vitamin D. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Breakroom Banter, a hairstylist adjacent podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, please leave us a 5-star review. And if you're listening on our YouTube channel, this week's secret word is calendar, because there's a calendar in front of me. So if you listen to this point of the podcast, even if you're listening on your favorite podcasting app, please go to our YouTube channel and leave the secret word, which is calendar, in the comment section. If you would like to follow us on our social media, I am at HairXHunter on Instagram. The podcast Instagram is at Breakroom Banter Pod. And Miss Anna's Instagram is
at anna.shr8hair.
And until next time, this has been Breakroom Banter. Bye.
Bye.